A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, passed away at the age of 100 on Sunday, leaving behind a legacy that is as complex as it is significant. While critics often associated his name with weakness, particularly during the Iranian hostage crisis, Carter's presidency was marked by a series of remarkable achievements on the world stage that showcased his commitment to moral diplomacy and human rights. One of his most notable accomplishments was the Camp David Accords, which he brokered in 1978, establishing peace between Israel and Egypt, a feat once deemed inconceivable. This landmark agreement not only transformed the Middle East, but also set a precedent for future negotiations in the region. Carter's approach to foreign policy was characterized by a blend of moralism and meticulous attention to detail. He took significant steps to return the Panama Canal to Panama, despite facing backlash from conservative factions in the United States. His decision to recognize Communist China and support Afghan jihadists against the Soviet Union further illustrated his willingness to take bold actions that would have long-lasting implications. However, Carter's presidency was not without its challenges. The Iranian hostage crisis, which began when hardline religious factions overthrew the Shah of Iran, became a defining moment of his administration. The 444-day ordeal, during which American diplomats were held captive, was broadcast nightly on television, contributing to a perception of Carter as weak and indecisive. This image was exacerbated by a failed rescue mission that resulted in the deaths of 8 U.S. servicemen. Reflecting on this period in a 2015 news conference, Carter expressed regret, stating, "I wish I'd sent one more helicopter to get the hostages, and we would have rescued them and I would have been re-elected." The fallout from the Iran crisis had significant political ramifications, ultimately contributing to Carter's defeat by Ronald Reagan in the 1980 election. Critics painted him as the antithesis of a strong leader, contrasting his presidency with the more aggressive foreign policy stance of his Republican successors. Public perception of Carter was further complicated by his demeanor and communication style. His widely criticized speech calling for shared sacrifice during an energy crisis and a bizarre incident involving a rabbit during a fishing trip contributed to the narrative of a president out of touch with the American public. Robert Strong, a professor at Washington and Lee University, noted that Carter's public relations efforts were lacking, allowing the weak label to persist despite the contrary views of those who worked closely with him. The people who worked with Carter said exactly the opposite. He was stubborn, fiercely independent, and anything but weak, Strong remarked. Carter's commitment to human rights was a cornerstone of his presidency. He sought to elevate the importance of human rights in U.S. foreign policy, a departure from the cold realpolitik of his predecessors. His administration took pride in advocating for political prisoners and facilitating the immigration of thousands of Jewish citizens from the Soviet Union. However, this focus on human rights was put to the test during the Iranian Revolution. Carter faced internal debates regarding how to respond to the growing unrest in Iran, with some advisors advocating for a hardline approach while others called for reforms. Stuart Eisenstadt, a key advisor, acknowledged the misjudgments made regarding the Shah's stability, labeling it the single worst intelligence failure in American history. Despite the challenges he faced during his presidency, much of Carter's legacy has flourished in the years following his departure from the White House. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002, recognizing his post-presidential efforts in promoting democracy and global health through the Carter Center. This organization has played a pivotal role in observing elections worldwide and nearly eradicating the guinea worm disease, a painful parasitic infection. Carter's willingness to engage with controversial figures and issues, such as his visit to North Korea in 1994 and his criticism of Israel's treatment of Palestinians, further demonstrated his commitment to dialogue and diplomacy. However, the accusations of weakness have lingered. Conservative commentators have warned against what they term Carter syndrome, associating it with indecision and incoherence in foreign policy. In response, Carter defended his record, highlighting his achievements in establishing peace and promoting human rights while asserting that a lack of military intervention does not equate to weakness. As the nation reflects on the life and legacy of Jimmy Carter, it is clear that his presidency was shaped by both triumphs and tribulations. His dedication to moral diplomacy, human rights, and peace negotiations has left an indelible mark on American history, challenging the simplistic narratives that often accompany political legacies. In a world that continues to grapple with complex international relations and humanitarian issues, Carter's vision for a more compassionate and just global community remains relevant and inspiring. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.